Hey, what's up, and welcome back to another episode in the Daily Loop series. This is the series where we break down a track loop by loop, and then at the end of the week, I perform the track, putting all of the loops together so you can see how the finished thing sounds. Now, this week, we're going to take a look at Shut Up and Dance by Walk the Moon. Now, I really love this song. I think it's a really cool pop track, but the reason why I want to focus on this track in this series today is because it's such a produced track, the studio version, and I want to highlight how we can take such a high production value track, really strip it back to just with an acoustic guitar and still perform it with the same amount of energy that the original studio version has. So let's start with track number 1. So this track is in D major. Now we are going to be using a capo in today's tutorial. Now I think this is the first time I have ever used a capo in a tutorial here on YouTube. I don't use them that frequently, to be honest. I like to sort of challenge myself with the stretch from time to time. But today we're actually using the capo for a stylistic reason. And that reason is so we can utilize the open strings on the acoustic guitar, because originally this riff is played on an electric guitar on the upper regions of the guitar neck, and it's got a lot of delay on, it's palm muted, and it sounds really, really cool. But when we try and replicate this on an acoustic, it doesn't sound anywhere near as cool, because just the characteristics of an acoustic, when you play higher up on the frets, it gradually becomes a bit more twangy, the sound. It doesn't sound quite as nice. So by playing it down here, it's the same riff, but it's just going to sound a little bit bigger. So this is what we're going to play today. It's going to sound like this. So before I break this down note by note, let me explain how I'm going to refer to the notes and the frets in today's tutorial. So because we've got the capo on, I'm going to refer to the frets as 1, 2, and 3 in relation to the capo. But when I'm referring to the actual note, the real note that we're playing, so for example, this is a D note, I am actually going to refer to that as a D note. I know a lot of people would say, oh, we're going to play a C because like in relation to the capo or whatever, but that's just too confusing. I'm going to say the actual real note that we're actually playing. So this is a D, for example, and without the capo, this is a D. So that's how I'm going to refer to the notes, just for your reference. So what we're actually going to play is a C shape. So this is your sort of normal C chord shape, but we're going to obviously fret it at the D with the capo on. Now, we're going to take the 3rd fret, which is the 3rd finger here, and we're just going to remove it, and we'll be left with a D and an F sharp. And we're just going to play through it exactly like I just did there. So we're literally going to play our F sharp, the open string on the G, and then that D on that 1st fret of the B string. So we're just going to play it through like that. And then we're going to play the exact same shape, but instead of playing the 2nd fret, we're literally just going to fret on the 3rd fret here, which is going to sound like this. So the 2 parts join together. And then once we finish that 2nd part, we're going to finish off with this little motif. And this motif is just going to be a D string, which is the 3rd fret, and then obviously our 1st fret on that B string, just to finish it off. So it'll go like that. And then we're going to play back down. And we're just going to play that 1st lick that we played. So go back down to your F sharp and just play through the 3 strings. F sharp, open G string, and then a D. So the whole thing together sounds like this so far. But there's one final part we need to do, and this is an open string on that D. So we're going to do an open D string here. So like that, and then we're just going to play an open G string, and then finally 1st fret on the B string, which is a D. And then we're going to finish it off with the same motif as we did over here. That sounds a bit more like it, but we're just not going to fret the 3rd. We're just going to do like that. So the whole thing sounds like this. So now that we've learned that, we're going to record this onto track number 1 of our loop pedal. So check this out. So the way I like to record this track is I like to click record, play it through once, and then click playback and continue to play with the loop in real time. And then I'll overdub on top of this to gradually start overdubbing the riff on top of itself. Now, the benefits of continuously overdubbing this riff in particular is it begins to sound quite sparkly once you increase the layers that are on it. And then when we start to do the drums, the rhythm guitars later on in the next lesson parts, this will help assist this riff sort of cut through the mix of those other elements on our loop, because it's going to have this little bit of sparkle about it compared to the other ones. So definitely keep that in mind when you are looping. So in the next few lessons, we're going to take a look at how to record the drum beats and also loop the rhythm guitar part. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and turn that notification bell to on so you don't miss any of those videos when I upload them. But as always, thank you so much for watching. I've been Ben Rowlands. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one.